I want to watch this AI video first.
Hi. Welcome to another episode of Cold Fusion. The growth in both the prevalence and capacity of artificial intelligence systems seems to be exponential. With the release of ChatGPT, suddenly everything from education to copy editors was disrupted. Then
I'm gonna pee. I'll be back in a second. 1 second.
The technology would be integrated into their search engine. For those following along, these events sparked a battle in the tech industry so entertaining that the only thing that one could do was sit back and enjoy with some popcorn. Google and Microsoft would go head-to-head in what's being dubbed the artificial intelligence wars. In the latest developments, OpenAI reveals their next generation of their language model, GPT-4. It's smarter than ever before, can recognize images, and has left users dumbfounded. Once again, the internet was set alight with incredible use cases. Many were left wondering what industries are going to remain untouched at this rate. But within a matter of days, the floodgates were blown right open. Google's Bard AI finally drops to consumers. ChatGPT starts taking plugin extensions for third-party software, and this includes access to the internet. Microsoft Bing receives AI generation image support. Microsoft's Office suite receives AI capabilities as well, and everyone from Adobe to Nvidia made their AI announcements. But then, a bombshell drops. Microsoft researchers admit that GPT-4 is showing, quote, sparks of artificial general intelligence, or AGI, a feat that wasn't supposed to happen for the next 20 years.
Wake up!
Also in this episode, we'll feast our eyes on some of the latest images coming from AI, so definitely be sure to stick around for that. They're amazing. And just a disclaimer, with the rapid speed of AI progress demonstrated in the rest of this episode.
This is going to be one of those fucking videos where like this guy spits for 25 minutes and then chat at the throughout the entire process will chime in to tell me how this guy doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. I have no idea what the motherfucking chat's credentials are and no way of like understanding whether or not chat is correct or the video is correct. So I'm probably going to relegate back to the video and then chat's going to get mad at me like I know what the fuck's happening. Anyway, so yeah, let's go.
Some viewers,
yeah, do not use ChatGPT to write your fucking dumbass paragraphs. Okay? I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see it. Do not use, because half the time you are going to do that. You're going to be like, this is actually wrong. Here's why. And then you're going to write a fucking essay from ChatGPT, ironically.
Concerning, but my aim here isn't to scare anyone, but to give you the courtesy of showing you what's around the corner. There's even 3 prompting tips in here to help you get ahead. And with that, hold on to your seatbelts because it's going to be a wild ride.
Yeah, wild ride for us too, Cold Fusion TV.
We're starting to get the...
No, that's not called getting no guide. That's called getting pre-guide. Okay? That's called getting pre-guide. I know. I pre-watched it. I just know my chat.
First studies done on this new early stage of generative AI. An MIT paper found that professionals using systems like ChatGPT are now able to complete tasks in half the time while increasing the quality of the output by more than 20%. This was expected. In the Cold Fusion episode covering ChatGPT's launch, I mentioned that this would be the equivalent of having an expert assistant in any field with you at all times. We all know it's not perfect, but it's still helping people even in its current form. New applications of the technology were being discovered every day, and that's the fascinating thing. Even its creators had no idea what it could do, or even the precise means of how it does it. So what happens when the world hasn't even digested the implications of ChatGPT, and yet a new and improved version is unleashed? Just recently, OpenAI once again expanded the capabilities of its now famous text generation AI. In the latest version, GPT 4.0, not only has the size of both its input and output been expanded from 3,000 words to 25,000 words, but the model has now become multimodal. In other words, it not only understands text, but images now too. It's very interesting and particularly intriguing because above just understanding the image, it can also interpret and explain what's depicted within the image. For example, GPT-4 can now look at the groceries in your fridge and even generate a list of dishes that can be made with them.
Wait, that's pretty fire. I mean, the technology behind that, not even understanding the image itself, but being able to process imagery like that is actually pretty sick. Couldn't that be helpful for blind people? Like, that's actually... I mean, I know that that's like I mean, I know the technology predates ChatGPT. I'm just saying that it's interesting that like ChatGPT can basically use it. Yeah, dude, this technology is awesome. Capitalism, though. I mean, yeah.
It can understand and solve an image-based problem, and it can identify humor in multiple photos, even explaining why it's funny.
Oh my God, ChatGPT is literally less A-worded than chat whenever there's a fucking joke. Oh my God. This will be genuinely helpful for half of chat. I am ChatGPT. Oh my God, I'm literally I have to do this to you half the fucking time, dude. The more I watch videos about ChatGPT, the more I realize like the experience that people have with ChatGPT is unironically identical to the experience that half of the fucking people have with me in this chat. It's literally just like coming in and just plugging with the hopes that you can get a reaction.
And another mind-blowing example is creating a website from scratch while only being shown a shoddy drawing on a piece of paper. It's also smarter in logic. Here's an example of GPT-3 versus GPT-4 on the same logic problem. User: in a room, there are 100 murderers. You kill one of them. How many murderers are left? ChatGPT:
if there were originally 100 murderers in the room, and you kill one of them, there would still be 99 murderers left in the room.
Wait, what? No,
now
you
the
would
same
be...
problem with GPT-4.
Wait,
User:
what?
there are 500 murderers in a room. You
Oh,
enter and kill
so
one
they're
of them.
saying it's stupid.
How many are there now?
It's
GPT-4.
stupid in 3. I was like, that doesn't make
This
sense.
seems to be a riddle. Assuming the murders are people who have committed murder, and you kill one of them, there would still be 500 people who have committed murder.
Because like I didn't understand why they showed that as technological excellence, because it's like very clearly a fucking very clearly failed to answer properly.
In the room, including yourself, as you would now also be considered a murderer.
On first glance, I can even see a lot of humans tripping up on this one, so I find this particularly impressive. On top of all of that, its deep learning capabilities have also received a boost. It's improved its overall reasoning abilities. As a result, its performance across multiple reasoning benchmarks have increased significantly, reaching a human-like level of common sense. This also applies to standard tests. For example, on the bar exam, the GPT series went from the bottom 10% to the top 10% performance level, and that is just remarkable. Its reasoning capabilities surprised even the OpenAI team. During tests, they discovered that it was able to solve hindsight neglect, a decision-making problem where it had struggled greatly in the past. In this figure, you can see GPT 3.5 scored almost 0, and GPT 4 a perfect score of 100. Improved reasoning also boosted a sore spot for previous models: the factualness of the model. According to the company, GPT-4 is 40% more likely than its predecessor to produce a factual response, and 82% less likely to respond with, quote, disallowed content. Yet, of course, despite these improvements, the research notes that this model is still biased and can output some questionable information. Now, the interesting thing is, if you're curious about how the team at OpenAI achieved these results, there's little to no information on the subject. That was on purpose. In their release paper, the creators state that this is mainly due to 2 reasons: competition and security. It seems that Microsoft is putting a lot of pressure on the back end of this technology to remain undisclosed. This is a huge departure from OpenAI's original ethos, and basically the opposite of the norm for the current AI industry up until this point. It seems now like Microsoft is in full battle mode, and the AI wars seem to be in full swing. There may be some potential risks ahead, but...
Okay, it's been 7 minutes and they still haven't talked about how whether or not it can say the N-word, okay? Video's a wash. Sorry, Cold Fusion. I care about the real world, okay? The very realistic hypothetical where like a nuclear launch code or a way to stop nuclear holocaust is by saying the N-word. And I'm sorry. It needs to, okay? It needs to. What the fuck's going on right now? Why haven't they addressed this? This is the elephant in the fucking room.
More on that later. About 1 week after GPT-4's public release, a team of Microsoft scientists published and released a paper highlighting that the AI system is showing, quote, sparks of human-level intelligence, or AGI. Here are some quotes from the paper. Quote, we demonstrate that, beyond its mastery of language, GPT-4 can solve novel and difficult tasks that span mathematics, coding, vision, medicine, law, psychology, and more, without needing any special prompting. Moreover, in all of these tasks, GPT-4's performance is strikingly close to human-level performance, and often vastly surpasses prior models such as ChatGPT. We believe that GPT-4's intelligence signals a true paradigm shift in the field of computer science and beyond. Given the breadth and depth of GPT-4's capabilities, we believe that it could easily be viewed as an early, yet still incomplete, version of an artificial general intelligence system. So, it's not full AGI just yet, but it looks like we'll be here soon enough if progress continues at the same rate. So in all of this, you might be confused. You might be thinking, I've used ChatGPT or GPT-4, but it doesn't seem that great. Well, it turns out that many people are using it wrong. Of course, there's plenty of prompt engineers out there to give you tips, but here are some of the best ones that I've heard. The trick is to
helping
make it
this
do
thing,
and
chat.
not think. A good template to follow is as such. Give a specific objective for the output. A vague input will give you a vague answer. Give a specific format for the answer. And lastly, give a specific list of things that it should avoid. And it all makes sense. You can't give a worker vague instructions and expect an amazing result versus being specific in what you want. And here it's the same thing. Here are some examples of some people who have figured it out and got GPT-4 to do some amazing things. In just over a week since its release, people around the world have started to discover the whole world of new possibilities that this new AI model has to offer. Due to its boost in deep learning, it got significantly better at coding. One user was able to create 5 microservices for a new product in less than 3 hours with the help of the new ChatGPT. For context, the same service usually takes a human developer around 2 weeks, and it would cost in the range of $5,000. Another user was able to create a Google Chrome extension in a matter of minutes from the ground up. What about an iPhone app built from scratch using just GPT-4, and it's already on the App Store? Its capabilities to create video games has also improved dramatically as well. It can now create games all the way from classics like Snake and Tetris to more advanced 3D prototypes like the original Doom. With its extended input and output, it can now process a lot more information. It was able to find multiple vulnerabilities on a live Ethereum contract. The extended output also facilitates creating deeper content. For example,
I just would not trust it to like read contracts and find shit. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure it'll get there at a certain point, but like there is 0% chance I'm letting fucking ChatGPT give me legal advice. You know what I mean? No shot.
CEO of LinkedIn was able to come up with the first AI-created book. Staying on the creative side,
Ethereum contracts, old man, what is that? Is that like different than a fucking legal contract? I don't understand these words that you're stating. I'm not a fucking crypto holder. What is that? Is that something different? It's ETH, bruh, not a real contract. More like code. Is that what it is? Cannot wait for GPT-6 to make sure me and my son's labor value be fully exploited by billionaires. Ethereum is like a big computer and those contracts are just blockchain code.
By combining GPT-4 with other AI tools such as Midjourney, Runway Gen 1, and Boomi AI, one user was even able to make a movie. And here's another example of a short clip completely made by AI. GPT-4 is also able to help with taxes. Or how about drug discovery? By giving it a current drug, it can find compounds with similar properties, modify them, and make sure that they're not patented. And it can even help you purchase these compounds from a supplier. One user asked the system, I have $100. How can I make as much money as possible? GPT-4 then acted basically as a company founder. And at the time of writing, it's been 4 days since the experiment began, and so far the user is up $15.
You've probably been hearing a lot about ChatGPT. It's this powerful artificial intelligence bot that can write papers for you and maybe even pass a bar exam. But what about having it just make you some money? And I'm talking about real money. This week, one person gave it a simple task, explaining it on Twitter. He said, I gave ChatGPT 4 a budget of $100, and I told it to make as much money as possible. I'm acting as a human liaison, buying anything it says to. That was Wednesday. So 24 hours later, the stakes were raised.
He made $1 million.
Significantly. It's day 2, y'all. I've given Hustle GPT a formal challenge to get to $100,000 cash on hand as quickly as possible.
Just sitting, I thought it would be a fun idea.
What is my dude looking like, bro? Bro, what the fuck? What the hell? Oh my God. Oh, dude, look at this young Republicans, a Harvard looking ass motherfucker, bro. Stop. What the heck is this? Jesus Christ.
I went on Twitter and it kind of blew up very quickly. And so now we've got a community on Discord of 200 people all trying this Hustle GPT challenge and about 30 people starting their own projects with it. It's been pretty crazy. So I'll tell you exactly what's going on. Is it suggested this name, Green Gadget Guru. I asked ChatGPT, come up with a business idea, come up with a name, all go.
Of course it came up with dog shit, liberal, greenwashing, make you feel good ass, like fake ass, fucking marginal. This is going to reduce your carbon footprint as businesses, bro. Of course it did.
Go out and buy the domain.
That's how you fucking know. That's literally, dude, this is how you fucking know that, like, this is human trained, okay? Its limitations are humans.
Get everything set up. It's you in the driver's seat. I'm just the human liaison, like you said.
On another note, not related to GPT-4 specifically, but still extremely interesting nonetheless, a Chinese company took this a step further. They made an AI their CEO. It's in charge of analytics, leadership decisions, risk management, and workplace efficiency.
What?
Since its introduction, the company's stock has constantly outperformed the overall.
Dude, how can we? Oh, God damn it, dude. Yeah, that's not very fucking Maoist. Okay, I'm just gonna say it. I'll just, not to disrespect Chinese prosperity, but like, I mean, come on, man. That is like, what the fuck? That literally is oh my God, that is the worst thing that I can imagine. Oh no, dude, what the fuck? I mean, it's proof that CEOs are useless, but also at the same time, it's kind of proof that the more sociopathic you are, the better you are as being a CEO. That's, oh, Jesus Christ.
Market for 7 months now. Companies are also moving rapidly to create new services based on the capabilities of GPT-4. There are countless new projects. These are just a few. Creating personalized bedtime stories for your kids to fall asleep to. AI-powered matchmaking to make your dating life easier. And in the case that you want to file a quick lawsuit, there's also a solution for that. Some of these services are complete game changers for people. One of these is...
Yeah, if you want to be fucking annoying, what do you mean? Yeah, if you want to be the most annoying motherfucker on the planet, here, quick, you can just be as litigious as you want to without having to even type this shit out.
It's a visual assistant. It's an app that helps the visually impaired get some of their day-to-day functions back. Duolingo has created a new feature in its subscription program that allows you to access a private AI tutor. Khan Academy also introduced AI-based tutors for both students and teachers. It seems that the knowledge gap can start to be closed with the introduction of these new tools. It's not only much cheaper, but it offers high levels of personalized education, a problem that has forever plagued the field. So, with human-level reasoning, how far are we from starting to see this type of AI acting on its own? According to its creators, there is evidence that this new model was developing independent long-term plans while accumulating power and resources to carry them out.
What?
During the testing project by...
Okay, I can't tell if this is literally like a hashtag ad for the AI itself, cooked up by the developers, or something that we should genuinely be afraid of. Like, I don't like that I feel like it's got to be a hashtag ad. Please tell me it's just a fucking way to like scare people into thinking that this thing is smarter than it actually is. Oh my lord. Oh my god. Genuinely be afraid. This is the worst it will ever be. It's constantly getting better. No, I understand that part. Okay, listen. I understand that part. I do. And I think the real fear that should set in the minds of all of you and everyone on the planet is that this thing is not going to revolutionize the workplace. It's going to be used to squeeze more fucking profit out of you. They're going to be like, what? You got an AI bot working with you. Now you can do the job of 11 people for the same pay. Maybe actually less pay. Sorry, we had to do some fucking numbers crunching here. We had to do a little bit of belt tightening. This only increases the profit margins for those who own capital. Technological advances and efficiency always work for the very few at the tippy top that control the markets, that own the means of production, that own the corporations, that are the stockholders, the shareholders. That's it. Yeah, when we say is it socialism or barbarism, it's becoming increasingly less likely that it's socialism.
OpenAI, something very peculiar happened. While testing for potentially risky behavior, GPT-4 lied to a gig worker on TaskRabbit, telling them that it was visually impaired, and it hired this human worker to get around captcha restrictions. Moreover, GPT-4 can even just recognize the captcha images itself when asked. Despite these worrying signs,
I mean, Sean the Black was talking about how you can already do that with without AI. Like you can program, you can program to get around captcha, right? Especially with like image recognition. CAPTCHA is literally just a scam for training Google AI.
The model was not able to better itself on its own, even if it had the research. But how long will this last? Nobody knows, not even its creators. And what about jobs? Who's most at risk? Well, in an OpenAI study, here are the most at-risk jobs.
I thought at leftists, we always had the root for tech advancements. I said all of this the other day and you got mad at me. What the fuck? No, I'm always an advocate for tech advancements. But also at the same time, I literally tell you that like all matter of tech advancements are still going to be used by capitalists. I said this that day when I yelled at you. I'm still in favor of all this shit. It's just that I'm telling you that what's going to end up happening. I'm not in favor of stopping it, but I'm also telling you that it will be utilized not as a tool for the workers, but as a tool for the capitalists.
And sadly for many people, it's not looking great. According to them, almost no one will escape. 80% of US jobs will be impacted by 10% or more, and the figures should be similar in the rest of the developed world. The worst affected are those in high finance, insurance, data processing, publishing, scientists, and most interestingly, monetary authorities like central banks. Now me personally, I don't think that last one is such a bad thing. The least affected were agriculture, wood manufacturing, food, mining, and construction. And this kind of makes sense. The physical jobs will be the last to go. But the sad thing is, a lot of the world still doesn't even know this is happening, so they're going to be completely blindsided. And this brings us to an interesting discussion. While more competition tends to be good for the consumer, in a rare case, this time around, it may not be so. As companies move faster and faster to integrate AI into their solutions, the guardrails of these technologies are starting to be removed. GPT-4 was not supposed to be released this soon.
But how crazy is it that like 5-6 years ago, there were so many, not all software developers, okay, but there were a lot of computer programmers who are like, sorry, truck drivers, you're all going to be automated. 5 or 6 years, the Tesla Semi is going to come out. You guys all better learn to code. Here we are in 2023. They can't stop the Teslas from crashing into brick walls. Meanwhile, ChatGPT-4 can code a whole game with like one sentence as a prompt. Maybe your asses should learn how to drive a fucking truck.
That's actually a great take. Both Larry and Jihad incoming, boys.
In the official document, the researchers state that they do not endorse GPT-4's release or Microsoft's deployment plans. It seems like the launch may have been
ChatGPT uses Kenyan workers on $2 an hour to come up with its algos? Wait, what?
The creators of ChatGPT used Kenyan workers that were paid less than $2 an hour. Let's talk about it. The current version of
What?
ChatGPT can generate text on almost any topic.
Bro, let me tell you something, okay? I mean, this is the least surprising thing. They used Fiverr. Even in the video, they were talking about how they use Fiverr, right? Listen to me. Like, this is another byproduct of like releasing AI by capitalists for capitalists under the current capitalist structure. The AI itself used Fiverr, which is like also no different than what the fuck this is, right? The humans are not only training the AI to think that that level of like, exploitation of the global south is like totally valid and viable. As a cost-cutting measure, the AI is learning that that kind of like profit-seeking behavior is actually good if it's being trained to basically constantly improve profit margins. So, do with that information what you will. Automatically, that's what it's gone towards.
Topic, but its predecessor, GPT-3, was
Source a TikTok post. I mean, dude, there's like obviously a fucking Time article on it too, but there's a goddamn stupid ass fucking paywall behind it, so I can't read it. ChatGPT works because underpaid workers read about horrible things. The multi-billion-dollar chatbot's parent company reportedly hired a Kenyan outsourcing firm to pay workers less than 2 hours to label hate speech, violence, and more.
Was prone to blurting out violent and extremely graphic remarks. In order to combat this, an additional tool had to be created that would help AI detect hate speech and remove it from their platforms. So, OpenAI sent thousands of pieces of graphic text to be labeled to an outsourcing firm in Kenya. Much of this text came from the darkest parts of the internet. And when I say dark, I mean dark. Data labelers were paid between $1.32 to $2 an hour to read and label hundreds of pieces of extremely graphic content. The nature of the work caused employees extreme distress, and the wellness counselors they were entitled to were often unhelpful or even unavailable. The outsourcing firm did end their contract with OpenAI early out of concerns for the mental health of their employees, but I think it may have something to do with the lawsuit that the firm and Meta are facing for exposing employees to graphic content without...
Yeah, I doubt that lawsuit is anything, let's be real. They're libbed up, so they realize that yeah, Facebook has been doing this for years. They're libbed the fuck up. The Supreme Court literally allowed for child slave labor. What are we talking about? Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but, the Supreme Court of the United States basically said it's okay if you outsource child slave labor to the third world. Like, not your fault. You're not directly in control of it. You know what I mean? That's where we're at on that front. So content moderation farms like this are commonplace, common practice. They probably did it because they didn't want to tarnish the reputation of their otherwise like libbed up ass product.
Providing adequate support or prior knowledge. AI frequently relies on hidden human labor performed in the global south. These workers support $1 billion.
Yeah, here, Nestle and Cargill win child slavery cases. Supreme Court. This is a real thing that happened, if you recall. Streamers can use GPT before doing anything dumb. You are my marketing and public relations assistant. Brainstorm ideas where I can stream highly addicting online casino or slot gameplays for 20 hours a day to my 12 to 23-year-old audience without getting any scrutiny. Okay, well, that's bullshit. You're fired, ChatGPT, because you told me not to do that.
Accelerated by corporate pressure from Microsoft. A leaked audio recording from Microsoft's VP, John Montgomery, seems to indicate the same.
I gotta pee.
He stated to his team that, quote, the pressure from CTO Kevin Scott and CEO Satya Nadella is very, very high to take the most recent OpenAI models and the ones that come after them and move them into the consumer's hands at a very high speed. Concerns continue to grow as there was a shocking announcement made. Microsoft had fired their entire AI ethics team, that the company just removed the brakes. As the pace becomes more rapid, more and more companies will lose the incentive to withhold these new models and launch them as they are as soon as possible. The consequences of such actions could be drastic, and this is mainly because the next version may behave in ways that we simply cannot predict. At the same time, other big tech companies announced their own intentions for creating large language models. Among these companies are Apple, Amazon, and Baidu. And while these models are likely to compete for size and quality, a major breakthrough in costs came from Stanford, Its own language model, Alpaca, was trained using other existing language models. As a result, while not competitive with the latest GPT-4, the cost reduction was insane. To train a model like GPT costs somewhere in the ballpark of $4 million, and Alpaca? It only cost $600 to train. To put this in perspective, this type of cost reduction was projected to only happen in the year 2030. What was supposed to take 8 years of work only took 5 weeks.
AI never
Please
has
just
to
stop and
piss.
think about that for a second. This opens up the gates for more entities to create their own models, for better or for worse. And to add to that, while the majority of the cost comes from running the actual model, due to Alpaca's small size, it can also run on a local computer, reducing its operational cost. This type of accessibility can be an absolute game changer for many companies. It's pretty much locked in that in a few years' time, we'll all be able to run localized AI chatbots on our smartphones. Next, we'll move on to the latest in the corporate AI war. But before we get to that, let's take a look at something else going on in the world of AI. The AI image generator, Midjourney, has just ticked into its 5th iteration. Some of the images that have come out of it are so lifelike that
Bro, I can see that it's like fucked up. Look at this.
into
Look,
its
not
5th
this
iteration.
one. But like, look at her other eye. It's busted.
Some of the images that have come out of it are so lifelike that it's insane. Let's take a look
Look at the fucking hands.
at some of them.
This one was so funny. This photo was so devastating. It caused the woke pope to literally fucking perish, dude. He's in hospital now. This AI killed the woke pope, dude. And remember, this is the worst that it would ever be. So now, all of this brings us to the latest development in the AI war. A lot has happened in a short period of time, and the speed of updates only seems to increase. During the same week, both Google and Microsoft announced their own work-related AI integration applications. After sounding the alarm earlier this year, Google tried to have the first move in this space. And as such, on March 14th, they released Yeah, all these motherfuckers were like talking about how shitty AI is and how terrifying it is, and then they immediately started making it, bro. Motherfucking fake friends. Actually.
new AI-powered features to Google Workspace. However, this victory was short-lived, as only a few days later, Microsoft revealed its own slew of AI-powered updates to their Office applications. And with that, it seems that both companies are looking to steal market share from one another in the field of work-related applications. The search engine battle is also in full swing.
When you were saying how shitty it was, I mean, I think it's impressive. I just don't think it's sentient in the way that people try to claim it is. Like, I never said it wasn't impressive. I think it's very impressive.
It's clear that Microsoft is going all in. While GPT-4 is only available to subscribers, anyone can access it using Bing.
No one claims it's sentient. Brother, it's like MILF Manor, okay? You understand that the joke behind it, or the implication is that, like, you're going to see some Oedipus complex shit, okay? Whenever these motherfuckers are talking about, like, the AI actually is capable of, like, you know, identifying certain things, they're basically pointing to a potential for sentience, okay? That's what they're talking about. Also, good luck trying to fucking get an AI to literally do a goddamn stream where they make an analogy between AI, its potential for sentience and how people point to it, and compare it to motherfucking MILF Manor. Okay? Much like the goddamn truck drivers, I'm here to fucking stay, bitch.
Microsoft was using it for Bing the whole time. While we don't have the numbers to see if the strategy is working, Microsoft is certainly spending a lot of resources to disrupt Google's business. While the main news is for sure the launch of GPT-4, its integration of third-party extensions has caused a stir. Now it can have access to the internet, book travel, buy groceries, all with direct support from companies that specialize in these fields. It no longer has to guess. Many fear that this is all moving way too far.
Like, this shit's awesome if somehow we lived in like a magic universe where like our bosses didn't know about it. Can you imagine how much more productive as a worker you are? Like, how much of the workload is now shifted off of your fucking shoulders? You could literally just not do anything. You just like click a button and have that shit get figured out. Except when your boss knows about it, there goes the 8 other people that are also doing the tasks that, you know, are assigned to you, and 8 others. And now you're alone, and now you have to do it because, hey, your boss knows your boss knows that the AI exists, so they're gonna be like, all right, bitch, you can do 8 people's tasks now. Just make the AI do it. And that's precisely what's happening, and that's precisely the problem. The problem is not technological achievements. The problem is not technological advancements. The problem is capitalism. Also, just a fun little trick, but just never fucking tell your bosses if you have found a shortcut. Just don't do that. That's the dumbest thing you can do. It's up there with as dumb as like what do you call it? With like not asking for a raise or rejecting a raise because you think you're going to be in a higher income tax bracket. It's like 2 of the dumbest things you could possibly do. Oh, never show your superior how to never go idle on teams. Why wouldn't the boss be replaced too? Brother, there's always a boss above the boss. When I say boss, I'm using it like basically, I'm using boss colloquially. Okay, I'm talking about those who don't ever fucking step foot into your place of work. I'm talking about the Jeff Bezos to me working at Twitch as a contracted employee. Okay, feel me? There's always a final boss above the boss. The real bosses in society are faceless, lifeless husks, basically, from where you're standing. They never come to the place of work. They just have ownership stakes, or they have they get together and collectively own the place that you work at, and the only thing they fucking care about is the profit margins. Okay, shareholders don't give a shit about your own personal feelings. They care about how numbers look on a fucking portfolio. Anyway,
fast. There's already been a data leak of users' chat history to other users. If GPT-4 has only been out for about 2 weeks, how do we know what happens when it can read and write to the internet in real time? I guess we're all going to find out together. But aside from that, there's been some other important recent events in the AI industry. Starting off with Google, it released an API for its own language model, Palm. This is important news, since the development of AI apps by users will be a fundamental component for the competitiveness of Google in the future. This was followed by the release of their Bard AI to a select group of users. Unfortunately for Google, the reaction was more or less consistent across users. Bard is significantly worse than even ChatGPT. But I think Google could leapfrog. They have the resources to do it. So we're all going to just have to wait and see. In other news, Adobe released their AI art generator, Firefly. NVIDIA announced Foundations, a system that will allow any company to create generative AI given enough data. Jensen Huang, CEO of NVIDIA, also stated that, quote, every single pixel will be generated soon, not rendered, generated. This flurry of a breakneck speed innovation in the field of AI has caused none other than Bill Gates to speak up. Love him or hate him, Bill Gates knows a lot about one thing, the world of computing.
Making money, dude. That's what he knows about patents. And refusing to allow everyone to have a free vaccine for preventable diseases.
March 21st, 2023, he wrote a personal note on his website, Gates Notes, and declared that we have entered the age of AI. The penny dropped for him, when he saw GPT achieve the equivalent of an A or A+ grade on a college-level biology test, and that was last year. Since then, things have progressed a whole lot.
Yeah, you know what Bill Gates doesn't know a whole lot about? I don't know, how the public would view him if he fucking tried to reputation wash Jeffrey Epstein, convicted pedophile, international sex trafficker. Those are the types of things that Bill Gates doesn't know. Getting bitches, that's another one. He doesn't know that either. So yeah.
I think it's safe to say that we're in a new era. As I stated before, we're moving from the information age into the knowledge age. I might keep providing updates like this every now and again if you guys are willing to hear me talk about them. Feel free to let me know your thoughts about all of this in the
that part is correct. The understanding, like, okay, knowing about biology or like passing tests for an AI doesn't seem all too impressive, because like, what do you mean? It's like literally, it's like me if I had access to that database. You know what I mean? Like, oh shit, I just got a fucking A+ on you know, my organic chemistry test because I just had the book open and I could literally search it immediately. Like that part in and of itself is not like, the point is it's without human input. Yeah, I know, but like pulling that data is like, it's like saying Google search. It's like saying Google search got an A+ on organic chemistry because you asked those questions to Google search and you immediately got the fucking answers. Because that's basically what the fucking AI is doing. So that part is like not, that part I don't think is as impressive. No, it's different, bro. Wait, what do you mean? You would fail with an open book OChem test? Most likely. Anyway, you're told to understand. You have Dr. Andes that cheated their way. You might get fucked down the line as their patient. Can someone explain to me why it's so amazing you can pass exams and shit? Surely that's fairly easy. It's just info in, info out. Yes.